Hey everyone, it's Jennifer Gilman and Emily Abshire here from New Way Health Coach. I'm the owner here, and Emily, I'm so excited to have Coach Emily back because we're going to be talking about the DNA testing that gives you personalized nutrition report and a fitness report. It's so cool, you guys. So I really want to dive into this for just a few moments. The company is called Nutrigenomics. And as an owner, as I was looking at other DNA testing companies, I was just not a fan of the ones that were leading you to supplements, right? So I didn't want to be part of those. I actually wanted a company that was just really good at what they were doing, DNA testing, and that they were always staying cutting edge. So that's why I chose Nutrigenomics. However, Coach Emily's been doing this longer than me. So I really wanted to kind of interview her and get her feedback because she's worked with a lot more people on this. So Coach Emily, why did you choose Nutrigenomics versus all the other DNA testing companies out there?
Oh, Jen, yes. So, what drew me to them was the recommendations. So, I loved when I got my results and when clients get their results that they are giving us recommendations based on food, like what real food has these minerals, vitamins in it for us. So that's very helpful. It also breaks it down to like milligrams, micrograms, protein, fat, carbs. So now I know my
Oh,
macros.
wow.
It
Yeah.
it even breaks it down a recommendation for how long I should be doing cardio or strength training. So like all of all of that, Instagram, social media, doctors, providers tell us, oh, you should be doing this for this long.
Mhm.
I have now solid data based on my genetic makeup with their recommendations on what works for me as an individual based on my genes. And so that it really gave me a solid roadmap, not for myself, but just for all my clients when they do the swab and they get the results, they have recommendations based on the individual person who did the swab. I would love for
Nice.
that.
Nice. Yeah. And I heard like that's that blueprint, that roadmap.
Mm.
And a lot of clients, as you know, they come to us, they're like, I just want to know what's good for me. Please help me. And we do that, we do that a lot, experimenting through things, but this actually gives them solid, hardcore, like this is what your DNA, your genetic makeup is. So let's follow this blueprint and put it into practice. So what are
Yes.
tell me how someone can benefit from the report, a little bit more detail. We love it, of course, but how about our clients and our future clients? How can they benefit? What's in it for them, and how could it improve their current lifestyle?
Well, if you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen.
Ooh, they're gonna love this.
So, so you can see my screen, correct? And
Yes.
do you see the genetic makeup, my summary of
Uh,
results?
yeah, and I'm gonna pretend I'm a client. I'm like, oh, I'm overwhelmed. This is so much information, Coach Emily.
So, well, I know that I'll tell you, I'll sprinkle in my experiences and then clients' experience so you won't know which is which. But this is how we actually apply it to our the lifestyle, the modifiable lifestyle habits that we can incorporate, that we have control over based on our genes and the results. And I'm going to sprinkle in so you don't know if I'm talking about a client or myself. So,
Okay.
for instance, it talks about vitamin A. And when I've coached this client about vitamin A, they are elevated. And so when we read the results, you have genetic makeup that can be elevated, typical, high, low, ultra. And so we get these results, but then it tells us what they mean. So this person has an elevated risk of showing an imbalance or a dis-ease if they are low in vitamin A.
Mm.
And so it tells the person focus on consuming vitamin sources of vitamin A. So then if you scroll down, this person was suffering with dry eyes.
Mm.
Their eyes were causing them issues. They spent thousands of dollars over years of going to an eye doctor and they could not figure out why their eyes all of a sudden. was
Yeah,
causing them
and
problems.
those drops, people spend hundreds of dollars on those little, prescription drops.
Yeah, heating your eyes up every night with a pad, helping them moisturize, rubbing them, blinking them, doing everything that the eye doctor tells you to. But when your genetic makeup shows you, if you are lacking or not getting enough vitamin A
Mhm.
in your dietary daily life, you could possibly show issues with eye health, vision, immune system, and healthy reproduction system. And so, what this person did, based on their genetic results and their diagnosis of dry eyes, is they started incorporating more vitamin A in their life. And
Mm,
so, what I loved about nutrigenomics, which we just mentioned, it gives us recommendations. So, since you are elevated in having a disease if you don't have enough vitamin A, you need to focus on vitamin A on a daily basis. That's what it tells you right here in the recommendations. And then it gives you sources of vitamin A on the side. So then when I'm coaching a client or when you're looking at your results, you don't have to go look somewhere else on Google or the World Wide Web. There are some examples right here on the list. These are great sources of vitamin A, whether they're the active form or beta carotene. You now know I need to incorporate these in. These are some items I can incorporate into my life.
nice, nice. Yeah.
So that story, after years of
Mhm.
struggling with dry eyes, this person no longer has eye issues, does not
Wow.
take drops, does not have to heat their eyes. They just focus on buying ingredients and foods, ordering at the restaurants, carrots at their house because they know that they need vitamin A in their life.
Yeah. Significant difference. Wow. It's so powerful. I love
It's so
the
powerful.
data, although it's a lot of data. And I know when I share a sample report with them, they're like, oh my gosh, this is so much. And that's the thing. We're here with you, right? We go over this. We have a full hour together with the package we set up. So 45 minutes of it is spent like deciphering it based on a person's health goals, which you fill out like a health history ahead of time so we know what you want to accomplish. But also, the last 15 minutes is helping you with those first steps. So, I do want people like, as you're listening, you might be thinking that overwhelmed, like, oh my God, I'm going to get this. And what do I do with it? We got you. We got you. Right. So, what are a couple of the things that, do you have any other stories you want to share real
Oh,
quick?
yes, yes, yes. Well, Jen, we hear all the time being in functional medicine that your genetics load the gun, but your lifestyle pulls the trigger.
Yes. Yes. I love that. Can you repeat
And
that for a second?
your your genetics loads the gun, but your lifestyle habits pull the trigger.
Yeah. I just wanted you to do it because it's so powerful of a statement that I want people to really resonate and let that sink in for a minute. Yeah.
And so what we're saying here is, to become an owner of your health, you may have these genes or you have these risk factors because your family has had issues with certain diagnoses, but you don't have to get them just because you have those genes.
That's
And
right.
so what makes this powerful is now you know what to do on a daily basis to not pull that trigger
Hmm. Yeah.
with certain foods and exercise. So let's move down to that movement, that exercise, that weight management, body composition category. And so when you do the test, you get the summary of and the breakdown of nutrition. But then you also get this fabulous breakdown of what your body longs for when it comes to working out and how long or what kind of workouts you thrive in or lose weight or get a healthy body composition. But for this example, physical activity. So let's see, this person was enhanced in physical activity, meaning you should aim for 30 to 60 minutes of cardio 6 days a week or muscle strengthening at least twice a week. You will have a healthy body weight because you have an enhanced genetic makeup if you work out according to this recommendation. That is
Yeah. You can't get any closer to a prescription than that, right? Like
right.
that's the thing. It's like, okay, You asked me how much should I work out? Well, here it is.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I'm not the one I'm
right.
not the one
The
telling you
genes.
it, and it doesn't work for everybody, right? Your genes are telling you that
Yeah.
you will thrive with optimal health and vitality if
Hmm.
you do this physical activity because
Yeah.
you have this enhanced genetic makeup for working out.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
same with protein. So you know, what what day goes by where a client hasn't asked you how much protein should I be eating?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
So if you do this genetic makeup, so this client has an enhanced response to a higher intake of protein. And
Yeah.
so it tells them you should consume 25 to 35 at least percent on a
Hmm.
day-to-day basis your protein intake. And so
Yeah.
that is powerful. If you have a typical response or a low response, then maybe you don't need that much protein in your life because your body he doesn't really need it. But if you have genes that are enhanced or ultra, then you should focus on protein. And that is your genes telling you.
So
Not a
good.
nutritionist, not a coach, not a doctor or provider. It's your genetic makeup.
Yeah. I love
Uh,
that.
and and then one other area of working out that's really important is power and strength. This person had an enhanced power and strength gene. And so it helps that person, that client decide when I work out, what types of workout would I thrive in? What types of workout does my genes, my body long for so I can be in alignment with what I'm doing at the gym or at home based on what I think my body wants.
Yeah. I really appreciate that knowledge, because many people they're just kind of like, I'm doing my best.
Mm.
But now you can actually really fine tune it. Can I just point out one thing real quick on this report?
Yes.
I love talking about the sugar preference because a lot of people are like,
Mm.
why am I so addicted to sugar? And there's a lot of reasons that could be, right, with whatever you're eating currently. But many people do have an enhanced sugar preference. And it's just kind of good to know, this
Yeah.
information because now you can try to make better decisions, but it validates. And I think that's the big thing with the sugar part of it is it's validating that yes, indeed, you crave sugar more than most people. Um, and armed with that knowledge, you can just be more empowered to make some changes. So I do like even those little things, of that just the nuggets of like, oh my God, I finally got the results that yes, it's not just in my head. you know? Yeah.
Yes, I prefer, or there's another one, snacking. If you prefer snacking,
Mm,
where is that one? I
I
forget
have
where
the
that one
enhanced
is.
sugar one. So
Oh, yeah, eating between meals.
yeah, yeah, yep.
So some
Yeah.
people
So
love to snack. It's genetics.
right. And so then you just move it to, okay, I'm not going to not try to snack, but they're going to be healthier snacks. So this is so good. And they now have the one of the reasons we dove in as New Way Health Coaches because they're now doing the hormone and the methylation part of this. So
Mm.
when you decide to move forward with New Way Health Coach with this, you're actually going to get those as well. You'll get the digital format and you will get the printed format, which is a slick magazine style. And I don't know about you, but if it's out of sight, out of mind. So I actually
Mhm.
like to have printed versions so that I can use it for the rest of my life, you guys. That's the thing about this is I can use it the rest of my life.
Oh,
Um,
that's such a great point because it's not like a micronutrients or an EKG or a CT scan or a one-time blood sample.
yeah,
These do not change.
yeah,
Your genes are your genes. And
yeah,
this is not a snapshot. This is forever.
yeah.
I don't know how many times I've pulled it out to use it for myself. This not, you don't look at it just one time and then put it
Mhm.
away. I
Yeah.
constantly have pulled it out. I make my grocery list now based on it. I make my dinner meals based on it. I ask myself, when's the last time I had some eggs for my choline? Like I really do. And then the beauty behind it when we work with clients is we're constantly sprinkling that in, that knowledge. We have their DNA results pulled up and we're reminding them, oh, you remember that you have this altered gene. for working out in power sports. When's the last time you power lifted or use some weights for resistance? And so that's part of our job
Yeah,
is to remind them of who they are and what's already awesome about them, and then having them apply it to their day-to-day or weekly basis.
absolutely. I love this. So much good stuff. And I know I wish we had time to show you the whole report, but you can request that from us. So definitely, if you want more information, if you're like, I'd just like to see a sample report, email us at info@newwayhealthcoach.com. So info at newwayhealthcoach.com. Or if you find us on the platforms, we're at New Way Health Coach on Instagram, Facebook, and then Jennifer Gilman on LinkedIn. You can just message us, and we will get a sample report over to you so that it might help you to make a decision. So what's been some of I know we talked about some of the responses you've had in helping people. Is there any last thing that you would like to say regarding this before we wrap up?
Um, yeah, it would be wrong of us not to just bring up that MTHFR gene mutation. It's really big right now, and this report definitely shines light on whether or not a person has that MTHFR, that they're lacking that enzyme. And
Yes.
people are inflamed, they don't feel well, they're puffy, their joints ache, they have random headaches, and they just can't figure out why. Sometimes it's that folic acid or that synthetic cyanocobalamin that they're introducing into their life through breads or foods. And that MTHFR has really been a powerful statement, just helping people motivate them to change what they put in their body because they feel so good once they get some of that enriched flour and folic acid out of their life.
Oh, I'm so glad you touched on that because that hormone and then the methylation addition that they now have and will be in all of our reports with our clients, that again was kind of the trigger for me as an owner to do this and to offer this to our clients. And methylation's a big deal. You might not have heard much about that word, but for us, that's an additional piece of the puzzle that it was kind of a mystery, the question mark. And now because that will be measured, we can now help you. So I love it. That's awesome. So any questions at all, just reach out to us. We're happy to help with you. We do have a package put together for this that not only includes the test, the digital format, the printed version, along with, of course, the methylation and hormone part of it. It is a swab test, so it's not a blood test. It's an easy swab test. They send you the kit, you mail it back in. And that's all packaged together with a 1 hour session with us afterwards, reading and helping you to interpret the results based on what you want to accomplish. Everything we do is focused around you. So you'll be filling out a form of like, what do you want to accomplish with your health? We're going to fine tune that to be able to interpret it in that way. So I hope that this was informational for you. It blows my mind with science these days, what is possible, and hopefully you'll be interested in taking advantage of this. So, all right, you
Thank
guys,
you,
bye for
Jen.
now.